Alright, we should be good. So let's see. We're streaming again on YouTube. We're also live on our Discord server. So if you want to join for a non-delayed stream, that's the place for you. So in 3.5 minutes we will see if we can hold this inversion. We've got a slight pullback. It's 5 minutes before a new hourly open. We've got resisted off that midnight level, but we have equal highs here and here. And I'm pretty confident that we are going to take them and clear them out. So if we check the 15-minute time frame, what do we see? We have some sort of a order block. I would expect this candle to hold support. The 15-minute candle is also closing in 3.5 minutes. We also have a bullish fair value gap here on the 15-minute time frame. So yeah, let's see how that will play out. Okay, that's not looking too good. Okay, so we stopped out. That's alright. That happens. So now I want to see how price is continuing here. If it's just going to hold support around this level. I also want to check what NQ is doing. NQ also didn't clear the high. So I'm wondering what it's up to right now. We still have pretty much too much support almost around this area. And I'm pretty confident that we are going to clear these highs. The question is how we're going to get up there. So we have a super strong area of confluence. We have one unfilled 5-minute fair value gap. But that's rather interesting. I wouldn't have expected that, especially since we closed above here. So I'm going to turn on the executions and quickly journal that. Let me quickly journal that. That was a buy. We went in with one contract. We lost around 180 bucks on this one. We went long on the ES1. Setup pattern that this was a inversion fair value gap setup. PM session setup. And we've been tape reading. PM session, perfect. Add trade, done. Alright, so luckily we closed here. So I will wait for that last 1 minute of that 5-minute candle. We could also be clearing some sell side before continuing up. So here's the closest pool of sell side liquidity. Here we had our daily drawn liquidity down here. So let's see. Maybe we can check on a higher time frame if we could work with something here. So also not on a 1 hour time frame. We can see on a 1 hour time frame that midnight open has been respected beautifully. We could get a deeper sort of pullback into maybe the hourly inversion fair value gap, which would be right here. We can check that on the 15, but I'm pretty confident that we are going to clear all those equal highs. So this is our hourly inversion fair value gap. We have a 15-minute bullish fair value gap down here that already kept holding support. So I'm going to be drawing that one in. We already have our 15-minute fair value gap here as well. The 15-minute candle just closed. We now have 1 p.m. New York local time. So we will see what we're going to get from here actually. This 15-minute inversion already kept holding, so I'm also going to be drawing this one up. That's our 1 hour inversion fair value gap, so we keep that in mind if we're going to clear more sell side before continuing back up. Because here on a 5-minute time frame we do not have that much to work with. Alright, so we cleared sell side. So let's see what price is up to. We had this last 5-minute fair value gap down here. Super tiny one. We just filled that to the tick. So I'm really going to watch this candle to close. Because right now we are inside this 5-minute bullish fair value gap. And I would like this one to hold. Otherwise we would have an inversion and we could target lower prices. Paired with a bearish fair value gap up here. So I'm curious to see if we leave behind a big rejection wick after clearing the sell side and filling in that last inefficiency, because this is pretty much what an hourly candle likes to do before reversing into all the buy side we left behind. Let me see if we have any questions on the live chat. Nope, not here on Discord. Do we have something on YouTube? Let's see. We have something on YouTube. Let's see. Nope, we do not. Alright, so 1.5 minutes to go. We're still holding. Seems like we could have just purged this liquidity. So now the interesting question before I would consider entering long again would be if we leave behind a bearish fair value gap. But now it's getting trickier because so we know that fair value gap is there and it has been violated. I just want to make it a little bit clearer for everyone. So we're just working with the current fair value gaps that price has left behind, which would be this bullish fair value gap here that just has been filled while still respecting this one right here. We actually have two of them there. That's why the shade of the gray was so, dark. We cleared sell side. And now really what I'm looking for is ideally seeing a close back above this bearish fair value gap. But this entry would almost be too high for my liking. But so far I like that rejection here, so we can actually drop it down to a lower time frame and see what we're working with. So we have an inversion, we likely close above it now. Cleared sell side. We have some fair value gaps down here that could potentially be filled for a potential short on the 1 minute after clearing sell side, but I really want to see this move to the upside and how it's going to play out. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Right, so we leave behind a bearish fair value gap. I would be confident in a short if we would have closed below this bullish one. But right now, with this sort of wick, this is not a follow-through in my opinion. So I would prefer to see maybe a close above that 50% of this fair value gap. So we just touched that 50% level. I'm not fully sold on shorts, otherwise I would try to get in a short position right around this level. I would like to see a close, ideally of this candle above this bearish fair value gap. This would confirm my idea of getting back long onto that buy side. My entry would be right here. Once again, I would give it a roughly 5 handle stop loss target. That would be this buy side. The Asian session high would be right here. I think with 2 contracts I would target this 8 handle target here. Right up here. But that all depends on this close. Fully sold on the shorts, I am certainly not. There's too much of support, but theoretically, yeah, no, we could still continue lower and clear this low based on this bearish fair value gap, but I would like to see more confirmation for that. Ideally, I would like to see a close below here for that confirmation. Let's check out what Nasdaq is doing. Also filled in the bearish fair value gap, cleared sell side. Bounced off this bullish fair value gap. Did NQ already clear the Asian session high? No, but did not. That's the Asian session high, so NQ is also on its move to the upside. It's a nice rejection here, so let's see if we can't actually continue lower. That would have already been 5 handles. Oh, come on, screw me. Anyway, I think even if we get short of this inversion fair value gap, then targeting 5 handles wouldn't be an issue. Yet a clean entry right up here. Would have been easy. 5 handles into sell side. I really should have taken that. My mistake. If we would have cleared this buy side, I would have been more confident in shorts. If we would have cleared that one, but we fell short of it. That's why I wasn't fully sold on the short opportunity, to be honest. And I would also prefer the 15-minute to close below this bullish fair value gap, so I would have to wait for one more candle after this one. If I see the confirmation on both the 15 and 5, I'm more confident in shorts. Because so far that macro until 1:10 p.m. New York local time, so right here, all it did was purging sell side. And like said, I would like to see all these levels to hold up. So we closed, but we didn't close below the 5/15-minute fair value gap. Cleared sell side one more time, really perfect entry. But I've got some sort of rules, and yeah, I would have liked to see this wick to purge this buy side. Then I would have been sold on that short, because then we would have had a market structure shift right in here with a displacement fair value gap for a short. We didn't do that, so I'm fine with not being in this short just yet. So we will see. That's the untouched hourly inversion. So ideally what I would like to see from here is a close of this candle below this 15-minute fair value gap. And then I would get short right here. Stop loss would be 5 handles, I'd say. Needs to be a pretty big bomb because of that 15-minute bullish fair value gap. The high of that 15 is right here. So if we go drop it back to the 5, a 5 handle stop loss should cover most of it. And yeah, then I would like to see if we can continue down for a 5 handle target. But that all depends on the close of this candle. So let's see our current PL with trader weight. Negative 190.5. So let me actually go over to the Apex Live. Let's go over to edit trade. Negative 190.5. So we seem to be holding, but yeah, well, we still have 2 minutes on the clock, so there's plenty of time for us. Let's check the 4-hour here quickly. Reversal after we cleared that daily draw on liquidity. So yeah, a TGIF model back inside of maybe some discounts wouldn't be the worst idea. Maybe we can also use some SMT divergence to back it up. That's why I've got Nasdaq open. But as we can see on Nasdaq, we also didn't clear this buy side. And now we're already below the low at 1230. So yeah, really what I would like to see is maybe on Nasdaq for those fair value gaps right here to hold. Maybe even this order block. And yeah, that same low would be equivalent to what we see right here on ES. So now we're within that last minute. That's going to be the telling one because that's also the last minute for the 5 and 15-minute candle. So yeah, we will see how that's going to close. If we're still holding this bullish fair value gap, then I would not consider a short. If we do not hold it and we continue higher from here, I would be yeah, okay with entering a short. Here we just cleared a short-term low. Lower high to the left, lower high to the right, cleared the short-term low. 20 seconds to go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. We might even close below this one. Nope, we just closed at the low of it. I'm going to go short with one contract right here. My stop loss is going to be 5 handles, even though I would close out the position early if I see strong rejection of this level right here. To the upside rejection. Let's see if we can get tapped in. We can drop down to some lower time frames to see if we can work with something here. Here we had some sort of a turtle soup on the 3-minute time frame. If we drop down to the 2-minute time frame, we also have no fair value gaps we can work with. Let's see if we find something on the 1-minute time frame. Now, this would have been the only fair value gap. Also on the 1-minute time frame, the next discount we have on the 1 minute would be inside this area right here, and then inside here. We cleared sell side, so this could be looked as an order block. So we just
order filled.
Let's find out. Ideally, I would like this inversion to hold, and this candle also not to close above 4375.5 ideally. That's something I would have not liked to see, but we still have 3.5 minutes left, and right now we're just retesting that inversion fair value gap. We just got back inside of it on the 5 and 15 minute time frame. My stop loss is going to go right up here. Buy one stop. My take profit is right here at 5-handed target. We're going to buy one contract here. I'm also going to draw up to 50% of our 5-minute bullish fair value gap, old bullish, now inversion fair value gap, and also of the 15. I would not like to see a candle to close above that. If I see that, I would likely exit the trade. 2.5 minutes left, nothing to be worried about. Don't be scared or be in a rush. Just chill out. And yeah, let's see how we continue from here. NQ. Also holding, going sideways in some sort of way. There we go. Rejected off the inversion. That's exactly what we wanted to see. One minute left on this 5-minute candle. Depending on the close of this candle, I'm going to trail my stop loss. Right here we are at 3 handles. That's the 1 hour inversion. That's where I would consider moving my stop to break even. Just managing the risk. Right now, since we already used the inversion to deliver lower and clear a short-term low, not a short-term low on this time frame, but price is fractal, I'm happy trailing my stop loss. Alright, so we're already on this 1 hour inversion fair value gap now. So let's also open up Nasdaq. We have a volume imbalance. That's nice to see. I think our 5-handle target should be hit very easily. No, I did not want to do that. Go back, go back, go back. There we go. This might take a while to load. I don't like that. Come on. There we go. Come on. There we go. 0 ticks. Okay, I guess something's wrong. 9 ticks. Alright. So we just touched old support. Volume imbalance. I would ideally like to see this to remain open. if we drop down to a 1 minute time frame, let's see what we're working with. We already dropped down into this unfilled fair value gap right here, but we have some more room to drop to fill it in completely. We also have an unused inversion fair value gap, so we should be pretty good. We did not leave behind any bearish discounts. So yeah, I would like to see that 5 minute volume imbalance to remain open and ideally deliver into our 5-handle target. I'm monitoring the trade now on the 5 minute time frame, 1 minute time frame, after entering on the 5 minute. Let's see. Go back to the 5. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me on either the YouTube live stream right here. I guess there are no questions so far. Nope. And if not on YouTube, you can ask me on Discord as well. Now we're aiming for low-hanging fruit 5 handles, not trying to be greedy. Go back to the 1. Let's see, the lowest discount we have available on the 1 minute time frame would be this one right here, which is almost lining up with our take profit target, so we should be good to go. Let's go back to the 5 and wait for the candle to close. Where does this fair value gap come from? I think it was the 15-minute time frame. Yep, that's the 15-minute time frame fair value gap. 15-minute inversion. Here's also a 15-minute inversion fair value gap that kept on holding. Candle bodies kept on respecting it. So actually, I think I'm going to move my stop to break even, because I would not like to see for this inversion to be retested, because then I could frame a potential support right here. And we just hit our 5-handle target. That's how quickly it can go. Nice, well done guys. I hope someone took it with me. Let me quickly take a screenshot of that so we can journal it. We went with 1 contract short. Let's add that screenshot. 5 handles. Nah, come on. Mistake. That's a good habit, because then you also get to leave the chart for a few seconds or few minutes to pretty much hang on, 15-minute, 5-minute, continuation, fair value gap, inversion fair value gap, hang on. PM session tag and tape reading. So let's get rid of that fair value gap, because there was no fair value gap we entered on. No PM session. Alright, there we go. So at trade 0.5% profit. Alright, so we continued lower. It was not worth the risk in my opinion. I'm happy with 5 handles. Let's see if we can't get another nice setup. I mean, we could continue lower after closing now below all these discounts. Keeping on holding trades, especially during the PM session. I have to practice more. Yep, there we go. Sell side liquidity likely going to be taken now. So this could have already been, we entered based on this inversion, and a 9-handle move. Alright, interesting. We would have been filled already. On the 1 minute, we're likely going to close below that lowest discount now, so we could frame continuation. Next area of support I would expect from right here. This inversion fair value gap paired with the bullish fair value gap, paired with the sell side or short-term low liquidity. So let's see how bearish we actually are and how much sell side price actually wants to clear. So we'll still have sell side here now paired with equal lows. So if we go on to the 15, we can see that we're now below this fair value gap. So if this candle is going to close below here, I could frame another short of this inversion into the equal low sell side. So if we go down to the 5, I'm referencing this level right here. That's why I could frame a short from. Also because we have a new bearish fair value gap paired with it. So if we take a look at that, fair value gap, bearish fair value gap paired with 15-minute inversion, depending on this candle close. And if we check the one, we have our lowest discount, which so far kept on holding with the bodies. So let's see. We also have a 1-minute bearish fair value gap. We have our 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Let's wait for this next candle to close, where we could potentially, frame a trade into sell side. Let's check on Nasdaq quickly. If Nasdaq also cleared that low. Let's see, for reference, that's the low we're talking about. So we could potentially form some SMT divergence. The reason behind this is we already had SMT divergence right here. If you take a close look, lower low on NQ, higher low on ES, cleared sell side, run for buy side. So the better pair to enter here on would have been on this candle right here, on NQ, because it already cleared sell side, easier to run for buy side then. And now we might be forming the opposite, where ES is setting up more nicely because we could potentially clear the sell side right here. Why we leave it behind on NQ, that would be bullish SMT divergence for a potential run up into buy side. Get rid of some shorts, clear some liquidity, and now we will see. That's quite interesting what we're working with right now. So we can get rid of this box. We seem to be holding the 15-minute bullish, even though we leave behind equal lows. That's not really ideal. We just filled in this volume imbalance. If we manage to close above this volume imbalance, this would be more bullish than bearish in my opinion. And we could see a quick pump to the upside, or depending on the next 1 minute, because that's when also we're gonna get our 15-minute candle close. And okay, we already closed below this one right here. I would have preferred for the sell side to be taken right here, but this might have just been enough short cleared. So because if we would have cleared this, we would have had an order block here, blah blah blah. I think we also kept holding that lowest discount on, also on the 1-minute time frame. Inversion paired with bullish fair value gap, we kept holding that. Candle bodies respect at that level. Now we have some sort of a market structure shift almost on the 1-minute time frame. So I'm going to be watching the 5-minute very closely, because I would still prefer these longs. This bearish fair value gap we have right here. Can pretty much get rid of this level. Hasn't been really used. The 15 minutes seems to be holding. Kept on holding. That's our 1 minute, which also kept on holding. So now we're pretty much back inside of this inversion fair value gap, where we framed our initial short from. So then we have this bearish fair value gap above here, and this one, which has not been respected so far. So I'm going to leave it out for a second. Let me see. Could we use this? No, I don't think so. Let's watch the 50% of that 5-minute fair value gap, because that's a time frame we on. So really we have high resistance. We have an inversion fair value gap that kept holding support, close below it. And then just above that we have a bearish fair value gap. So it would really be interesting to, maybe potentially frame a long opportunity. But really, the point where I would confirm a long, where I would enter into a long after just getting back into profits on the funded Apex account would be, let me see, on the 15, if we get back above that 15-minute inversion, because right now we close below it, so we would still like to see resistance from here. But if we manage to get above it, I could frame a potential long opportunity. Equal highs, Asia session high, so plenty of liquidity to the upside. But same way as we missed out to clear this buy side for a potential short of this bearish fair value gap, we also missed out on a potential long. If we would have cleared the sell side, that would have been very nice to see. But we might just retested this inversion fair value gap on both the 5 and 15-minute time frame to continue lower from here. But since we closed above that most recent 5-minute discount we have left behind right here, it would become a inversion volume imbalance for me. I do not like to take these entries, they're not the highest quality. And also because we closed above this bullish fair value gap, became inversion, closed back above it. So I would also expect support from here. And so far, I really like what I see. That's that 1 minute, that's the 15-minute fair value gap. Just gonna leave that on here. Kept holding support previously. That's our 1 minute fair value gap, which also kept on holding. So if we would be interested to see what, first of all, what YM is doing, we see that we just filled a bullish fair value gap right here. Now we open up with a bullish volume imbalance on the 1 minute time frame. So really, I would be interested to see if we don't use this as an order block. We could retrace lower because there's an unfilled inefficiency right here. But I like this wick. This could be a potential order block right here. So I'm marking it up, and our highest 1 minute discount we need to close above would be this one. So let's see, let's drop it back to the 5. So we're right at the 50% level of the 15-minute inversion fair value gap. 9 minutes to go on this candle. What's the time? It is 1:30 now. We close on a 5-minute right at that 50% level. Hey, further on. How's it going? Yeah, welcome to the club. On this Apex account, I'm also just 60 bucks in profit because I took a $180 loss right here where I tried to get long of this inversion fair value gap. This one right here, we closed above it, got in long, got stopped out, I think, yep, right here. That's where I placed my stop loss. But then I got in short based on this 15-minute inversion fair value gap and secured it at 5 handles. But yeah, it has been pretty tough price action. Not really during the New York AM session, especially not during the New York SilverBullet hour with the perfect SilverBullet setup into buy side during a macro. I already covered that earlier. So if you don't like that entry right around this level, this would have been the confirmation entry with a bullish fair value gap, inversion fair value gap, order block during the macro starting from 10.50 until 11.10 to clear this buy side. Where did you short from? Further on. From which level did you start shorting? From all the way up here you started shorting. Not bad. That happens. Just make sure you journal it and take notes, because then you can actually learn something from your mistakes. Maybe start finding out what led you eventually to not listen or not practice or respecting your own rules, let's call it this. Which impulse, which thought, and that's really helpful if you do journaling. We open up with a bearish volume imbalance, so that's something. If we check out NQ looks rather bullish with this fair value gap that it has left behind. We also have some sort of SMT. So let's say ES would be as weak and actually clear those equal lows. And NQ would keep holding support and we have valid SMT divergence. I might be keen to take a long opportunity. That's unfortunate, but it happens. Just gotta make sure to journal it, because then you can actually learn something from it. We had a tiny weeny bearish fair value gap inside of this 15-minute inversion. Went completely past me, to be really honest. But we already secured 5 handles on that short. I wouldn't be too keen on getting into that again after another rejection wick. Because once we closed back above that daily draw on liquidity, every time we came back into it, we had a massive rejection, like right here, here, and here. Yes, that's what I shared on the Discord this morning. On the Discord this morning, prior to the London kill zone, I mentioned that there are 2 scenarios I could see to play out today. It would either be that we are going to run higher throughout the London session, And then later on during New York, we're going to clear that daily sell side. And the second scenario was during the London kill zone, we're going to clear that daily sell side, which we did at 7:15. We continued to spend below that daily sell side liquidity at 4368. We spent some more time, even throughout the New York Open at 9:30. We cleared a short-term low, market structure shift. We had a lower time frame fair value gap in here, but we could have simply used a 5-minute order block right here. If you really take a close look, 5-minute order block, inversion fair value gap, 8:30 open level, kept holding support. Yeah, but if you're not a fan of an entry down here without a weakening, the cleanest entry of the day during the New York AM SilverBullet hour would have been right here at 10:50. Once we filled this bullish fair value gap with overlapping confluence of this inversion fair value gap to pretty much fulfilled that thank God it's Friday setup. But yeah, what I really wanted to see from this fair value gap is a continuation, but we got resisted off that midnight level to clear this buy side equal highs, to clear the London session high with equal highs, and to clear the Asian session high also with equal highs right there. So I would still prefer a long opportunity. That's not off the table for me. We just filled that lower fair value gap, did we? Yeah, we wicked inside of it, which could fuel a potential reversal. Yeah, during the early morning, I just share my analysis and my thoughts on Discord inside the tape reading chat. But yeah, for American traders, it's at the middle of the night, really, for most of them. And yeah, it's pretty tough to get them, but you have the AM and PM session. It's not too bad. During London, the only trade I took was this long. We had a 5-minute. Small little bullish fair value gap paired with that midnight level. That's why I entered long right here. I had 2 ticks of drawdown. 1 tick of drawdown. We filled in this bullish fair value gap right here and continued higher into buy side. I went long with 2 contracts and I secured 1 contract right here at this buy side level, and the other contract I closed right here with 4.25 handles in profit manually right here, or maybe 1 tick below that. But yeah, that was my only London session setup. We would have had a nice short opportunity right here, but I didn't like this delivery. And during the rollover period, I was also at my computer and I tried a paper trade short of this bearish fair value gap, which played out just perfectly and delivered into this daily low. Continuation entry would have been right here on this fair value gap. We wicked inside of it twice to eventually deliver lower. And then yeah, during the AM session, we had this somewhat nice 2022 setup after clearing a higher time frame point of interest. Low, lower low, low, lower high, lower low. So we push in lower aggressively. We shift market structure. We keep holding the order block. And yeah, lower time frame fair value gap, kept holding support at the 8:30 open, but very wicky, dangerous if you trade with minis. So yeah, the cleanest setup, the confirmed setup would have happened right here during the AM session. All right, interesting the way we closed right here. I'm quickly going to charge my phone. Let's see, this looks rather bullish to me if I'm honest, especially if we think about that 1-minute bullish fair value gap. We just opened up with a new 15-minute candle with a new 15-minute volume imbalance. So what would I like to see for longs? Really, I wouldn't be too keen on getting in too early. I want to at least see a close above this 15-minute fair value gap. Which would be right here at 4379.75. If we manage to do that, I could frame a long, but we still have this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So really where I would start considering longs is if I see a close above this level, turn it into an inversion. I would use a 5-handle stop to target almost 10 handles really, Asian session high. Right here I would enter with 2 contracts, take partials. This would be my setup for the PM session to fulfill the thank God it's Friday model. I'm not going to use percentages or anything like that. I'm simply going to be looking at price action and very likely going to enter based on a inversion fair value gap. Maybe even with micros. Because I want to reduce the risk. I lost 180 here, made 250 here, so I'm just in small green by a little tick. 60 bucks, better than nothing. Missed the AM session because I've been outside enjoying the sun at the lake with a couple of friends, which was very nice. So from here on, it's the PM session for me today. Because now the sun is setting and we can relax. So let's see if we have any questions on YouTube. Doesn't look like we do actually. I think because it's Friday, most people already closed out on their charts for good. I could see that possibility. Yeah, so really, I mean, we could have entered on the 1 right here, but it's not my type of preferred entry, to be really honest with you guys. I don't really like to enter on the 1-minute time frame at this point in time. I prefer just sticking to the 5, even though we could have easily gotten 5 handles from here on the 1-minute time frame very simply. But I'm going to wait for a decent 5-minute setup, trying to avoid the 1-minute time frame as good as I can. So we just filled the 15-minute inversion fair value gap. Yeah, this one right here. I also saw it. I mentioned it on the stream. The slowest discount right here. We wicked inside of it. We had this bearish fair value gap. We closed above it, bullish volume imbalance, retested it, and continued higher. Just trusting these fair value gaps blindly wouldn't be what I would have liked to see. I would have used that inversion, and 5 handles would almost deliver us, or would be below this buy side right here. So from here on, I'm just going to keep on tape reading, but on the 5-minute time frame. If we leave behind a few bullish fair value gaps on this price leg, I would maybe consider taking a early long. But very similar to what we saw right up here, I already mentioned that. If we would have cleared this buy side, those equal highs, I would have been confident in taking this short. At this point in time, I was still considering that this might become an inversion fair value gap. We didn't do that, but in the same way, we also didn't clear the sell side right here. We just pretty much left behind equal lows, which is not ideal, and also a reason why I wouldn't trust those 1-minute fair value gaps. I wait for a higher confirmation setup. So if we look at our 50% level, we also close above the 50% level of our 5-minute fair value gap. Keep that in mind. We closed above that now. So we could maybe flip it. That's our 15-minute. We're gonna close in 10 minutes. which is also going to be a new hourly candle, the 2 p.m. candle. Depending on that next close, if we manage to close above here, or maybe even if we leave a bullish fair value gap behind here already, yeah, I still want to see this buy side to be met, and I think it's likelier than sell side, especially with the NQ confluence we have right here. NQ is rather bullish and use this bullish fair value gap to deliver up higher. We have some sort of SMT divergence, even though we didn't clear the sell side liquidity on ES. This might have been just enough. And yeah, I would be surprised if we wouldn't clear those highs. So let's see how bullish we are. If this 5-minute candle can close above 4380.5, that would be nice, because then we could use this maybe as potential support. We have the potential of a 5-minute bullish fair value gap down here that could still be used to deliver up higher. Let's wait for this 5-minute candle to close. I'm gonna be... no, I have to wait for this 5-minute candle to close. Then I quickly go downstairs to check on my dog. One minute left. We do not need much for a 5-handle move. So we're moving, yeah, pretty aggressively, and I like to use a 5-handle stop, but I think we're just moving too much here during this PM session, so I might have to switch to micros. We cleared the SPY side here on NQ. We did not do that on ES just yet, so that's interesting. But I think we might do it very soon on ES. So right here we have buy side liquidity, a short-term high, lower high to the left, and lower high to the right. So we have a short-term high here. Note how we just opened up with a bullish volume imbalance. I'm also going to be drawing this one in. We have one more 5-minute candle. It's 13:55 now. So we're also inside of a new macro. Really curious to see how this is going to play out. I'm going to be back within the next 3 minutes. And yeah, let's see what we can work with. So right here we have this bullish fair value gap, which we could really use to deliver into the SPY side. But I am not fully sold on longs yet, because I already had a loss and a win. I'm a little bit more cautious of which entry I'm going to take, and this is not my favorite entry or a high quality setup, because we're still inside of this 5-minute inversion paired with this 5-minute bearish fair value gap where we just got rejected from, and just entering a long based on this bullish fair value gap wouldn't be something I'd like to do. Alright, I'm gonna be back very soon. Alright, let's see. So we just tapped this bullish fair value gap. In 2 minutes, a new hourly candle is going to open up. So let's check that hourly time frame as well. On the hourly, we filled this hourly bullish fair value gap. We retested this inversion fair value gap right here. But we did not, no, we do not have a fair value gap here. So yeah, on a higher time frame sense, this could still play out very well. Check the 15, also just wicks lower. Bodies keep holding up. But yeah, we could still just use this inversion. So for a long, I'd like to see some good confirmation. Remember, we do have some SMT. NQ cleared this high. Right here, cleared it. So we just also filled this volume imbalance once more. Let's see how we're going to open up. We are very likely going to close in this volume imbalance. So we can pretty much get rid of that one. If we close back above that 50%, this is more bullish than bearish in my opinion. After holding support on these discounts that we have left behind, delivering very efficiently. Now let's actually use the -15-minute fair value gap, because we also get a new 15-minute candle close. So if we leave this volume imbalance open, I might even consider a long from, no, okay, we do not leave it open, but I like the support that we kept on holding. If we check the 15, we close this candle right here, so theoretically still inside of the inversion fair value gap, but we keep holding support down here. I know we close below it. This might be throwing some guys off, but yeah, like I said, I still prefer all the buy side above us. And I think we might just have cleared enough sell side in order to go back up. I mean, only this entry right here, 5 handles, would bring you right up to the high of that fair value gap. Use a 5 handle stop. But not enough confluence for my personal preference. Let's see, I'm very likely gonna stream until 8:30 p.m. my time. And only if we get a decent setup during that. We could also just get a power hour setup right here at 3 p.m. But yeah, we will see about all that. Not in a rush to take another trade. Buy side above here. Quickly check on NQ. NQ keeps on pushing higher. Going to add an alert right here and right there to be informed once NQ is breaching those highs, and yeah, pretty much to see what ES is doing at that same time. So once again, my preferred entry would be once we break above this bearish fair value gap in terms of a inversion fair value gap entry long into buy side for 5 handles, nothing more. I like how we use this discount to push up higher. So right now, this is the high of our 5-minute inversion fair value gap. We kept holding support, close below it. Now we would have expected resistance, but if we close back above it, we could be looking for support again, which is right here at 438.5. 4380 0.5. But notice that we have overlapping confluence right here. We have a bearish fair value gap that has been holding resistance once to deliver into sell side liquidity. So that's why I would prefer a long after the confirmation, close above here, inversion, use a maybe 3 handle stop loss, 3.5 handle stop loss, target 5, which shouldn't be too hard to obtain. 5 handles from here should be fairly simple. Alright, just to prepare myself, I might take the trade on the MES. So I'm gonna leave that open, that window. But I'm not going to monitor both charts, I'm just going to watch and see what ES1 is up to now. We just open up with a new hourly candle without a volume imbalance or anything. New 15-minute candle as well. Last minute of that 1 minute candle. Let's see if we can close above 43850. Twenty seconds to go. We close right at the high. Open up with a bearish volume imbalance right here. Alright, do we clear this short-term high? We just cleared that. Perfect. Let's see if we close above this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. I'm ready to enter my long position. Note that we have a small bullish fair value gap down here. We get our alert once NQ is going above either one of these highs. But yeah, we want to see the close above here. Right here we started the macro, so this would have been actually a nice macro long opportunity, but still not enough confluence for me, personally. Hmm. So let's see, 2 more minutes left on this candle. Let's hope it's not running immediately for buy side and we get a massive pump. Then we would have missed a long, and I would very likely maybe try a long of this inversion fair value gap, but yeah, I would prefer to get in before we close above New York midnight and the buy side. All those equal highs basically. One more minute to go. Let's see how this 5-minute candle is going to close. Seems like it wants to close above the 5-minute. 30 seconds to go. Two, one, and we open up with a new bearish volume imbalance. So we keep holding this inversion fair value gap. Bullish fair value gap turn into inversion once we close below it. We keep respecting the high of this level paired with this bearish fair value gap. We even wicked inside of this old bearish fair value gap, which kept on rejecting price 1, 2, 3, now 4 times. So let's see what we're going to do here. And how we're going to continue with that. With this 5-minute candle close, we're going to get a new 15-minute time frame candle. So let's check that out. We also didn't close above the high of the 15-minute inversion, so we keep on respecting those levels, which is nice to see. But still, I would prefer a delivery higher. Let's wait for this candle to close before we make any early decisions, but yeah, I don't like this price action at this point in time. Equal highs above and below. We're right at the 50% level of that. We're, I think, $100 in profit, so that might be it for this PM session live stream, to be really honest. I might come back at around 3 p.m. New York local time for the power hour, to be honest, because I might want to take my dog for a short walk. But let's wait for this candle to close first. Alright, I like the rejection wick here, but still, yeah, we are at equilibrium of the current range between equal highs and equal lows. Not really what I'd like to trade, at least right here. I would like to see confirmation to either one side, really. That's our 50% of the current range. We are above it and we keep holding support and keep bouncing off it. But yeah, I'd like to see the confirmation close above here before I continue, yeah, trying to frame a long opportunity. I'm also not too keen to enter short again. So yeah, we will see. Second bearish volume imbalance. Now also on the 15-minute time frame. This would have already delivered 5 handles. This is a little turtle soup. Not my type of entry. Let's wait and see. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Otherwise, I will be 14:15, so that macro is also over now. Let's see. I'm gonna be a little bit more quiet. Maybe if you have a question, I can answer that, so I'll have a little bit more to talk about. But I do not want to, yeah, keep on talking 24/7. This is not a radio channel. I do tape reading, and if there's nothing new, really, there's not much for me to do. All I'm waiting for is a close above this 5-minute inversion fair value gap and this 5-minute bearish fair value gap for a confirmation entry long. And this is what it would look like. I would enter on the inversion right here to quickly target 5 handles. And I'm out. Risk 5 to make 5, even though I don't like this risk reward box. It should allow me enough room. And why do I like this long even more now? Because we cleared a short-term low. We had a higher low to the left, higher low to the right. So we cleared a short-term low here. We took sell side one more time. Now if we get that confirmation close above, I'm really keen on getting long. I like this candle, so back in action. We have this volume imbalance as well. Let me quickly check the 15. No volume imbalance there. Nope, nothing. That's fine. Let's wait for this candle to close. Alright, once again we got rejected of this bearish fair value gap. Still, we're not too keen on shorts just yet. Maybe if we close below this 5-minute discount, I could frame a potential short, since we've keep bouncing between these two PD arrays. Potential short entry would look something like this. Target 5 handles. I pretty much just target this short-term low. Risk 5 handles, but I also don't really like this setup, to be completely honest. With all these big wicks we've been getting, just a wick like this is already almost 5 handles. That's 4 handles. So yeah, not really what I'm looking for right now, especially right around or inside those two PD arrays. This was a fairly simple short. 5 handles. I expected buy side to be hit here, so yeah, but that's normal. That happens. Still gonna have losing trades, so let's see. Let me open up NQ here. NQ is looking more like it actually wants to take that buy side. Stronger. So let's see. 30 seconds to go. We might still get our close above this level here. Let's see. 20 seconds. Alright, we did not close above it, so we have one more 5-minute candle. We keep on consolidating here, so I'd like to see the confirmation close above this bearish fair value gap to frame a long, and yeah, I wouldn't be keen on a short, so even if we close below this, I would just maybe come back at 3 p.m. New York local time. I would wait for this candle, or for a candle to close above this 5-minute bearish fair value gap for confirmation, really. And Q might be, it's looking like it's going to clear these highs, so it already cleared that first high, this high right here. So ES is lagging behind right now, but this could present an opportunity for us. Alright, we seem to be getting a push now. Two minutes to go for a potential entry to form. No questions here on YouTube. Maybe I have to reload to see the questions. I'm not sure. Nope, seems like no questions. That's fine with me. Back to the focus on our charts. If we keep leaving behind those wicks, that's just gonna be super annoying. So we already have some more SMT divergence between ES and NQ, but I would still like to see the SPY side to be hit. But it seems that we're just going to keep on pushing into this bearish fair value gap and getting rejected of it, unfortunately. And keep in mind, it's Friday, end of the week. We could get that completion of the thank God it's Friday model. So we would like to see the Asian and London session high to be cleared up here. 30 seconds left on this candle, and once again we leave behind another huge wick to both the up and down side, like we did pretty much the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles. Simply not worth the risk to me, not even on a micro contract. And we open up with another bearish volume imbalance. I'm gonna be back in the next 3 minutes. Still not much. Didn't miss anything. Now I'm back to that last minute. Ugly as consolidation. That's the VWAP, by the way, that I'm drawing up. New York local time midnight and the beginning of the day VWAP, where we can see that's where we bounced off. Once we got back above it, right here, that's where we kept on bouncing off. Sort of like a bull market support band, really. I'm gonna keep it on there. Another 5-minute candle to wait. This is really getting a little bit annoying, but it might be worth just staying here and seeing how we're going to continue. Because this could really be the accumulation before a massive break to complete the Thank God It's Friday setup during the power hour starting at 3 p.m. New York local time. We see that same consolidation here on YM. NQ is still pushing. Doesn't really look like, we still consolidated. Big wicks to both the up and down side. That's also a new 15-minute candle right here. NQ just cleared the high right here. Still has some way to go to the London session high, but just want to point that out. That's all I wanted to know from NQ. NQ has cleared that high. If this candle is not going to push immediately into that buy side, I'm going to try to get in long off the inversion. But I mean, we've been here before. Cleared short-term high. And we got back all the way down here. So let's hope this is not going to be the expected pump after a half-hour consolidation. And we're not going to immediately take out the SPY side. Would be preferred to give me another opportunity to get in on this inversion fair value gap. But you not always get what you ask for. 2 more minutes to go. 1 minute to go. Let's see if we can get a confirmation here. NQ is also very strong here. 50 seconds to go. We're pushing up, we're pushing up. Let's see, let me extend these levels out. New York local time midnight. Fair value gap that kept holding resistance here. Here, here, and here. That's our inversion fair value gap. $20 seconds to go. Let's hope we not just get another rejection wick. We open up with a bullish volume imbalance. So I'd like that to remain open after tapping us in. Potential room for a new bullish fair value gap. NQ keeps on pushing, close above the high. Could be forming a 6 sister on ES, but I would prefer to get my entry from here. Buy side liquidity at 438.75. 4385.75, sorry. Volume imbalance. London session high. And the Asian session high. Yes, I'm looking for a potential long of this inversion, if we get it. But yeah, let's see. If we close above this old bearish fair value gap, we could also try an inversion of here, but I'm not really a fan of that. Then it's just moving too quickly for me to enter right here on a 5-minute time frame. The aggressive entry would have been the volume imbalance entry, but that's not my, the setup I would take right now. Unfortunately, we haven't been tapped in. Let's see if we clear the buy side. Strong push, tough one to get in, unless you would have gotten in on this bullish fair value gap right here. This would have been the only real entry into this move up, but at this point in time, not enough confirmation. Then we had this ugly ass consolidation. Now we closed above the bearish fair value gap, but we didn't get tapped in on the inversion as of right now. So we are just waiting to see if we can clear these equal highs, or if we can maybe, close above. Nah, I wouldn't like it, I think. Too much room to the downside. Let's say we get in long off the midnight open. A 5-handle stop would protect us. Would protect this fair value gap, but that's not what I like to do. So yeah, I would, I don't know. We will see. We will see. 1.5 minutes to go. We have 5 relative equal highs. If we clear that buy side, I would like to get in on this inversion before, or fair value gap before we clear buy side. I might not get that, but that's what I would prefer, and I think the only entry I would take. "30 seconds to go, so we will see if we can close back above midnight and maybe also above this bearish fair value gap for the first time since, yeah, London kill zone. So we closed above it, well above it actually. So I'm going to try it off the New York midnight. Okay, so we already cleared the buy side. This might not even work anymore. I think we're just gonna run from here without us, but that's okay. I would have really liked the inversion fair value gap entry, but we didn't get that. Now we have cleared buy side, and I think we are just going to extend. This is really what they did right here. They accumulated, kept holding on these discounts we left behind, but since then we're just going to, I think, quickly extend here. And yeah, clear buy side liquidity. And I'm not interested in getting into a trade above these levels. We will see. We now have a valid inversion fair value gap right here. Nothing we can work with over here anymore. So really, the most recent discount that we could potentially leave behind would be this bullish fair value gap, paired with the New York midnight level, paired with that inversion fair value gap. So yeah, if we don't continue to take out this buy side right here immediately on this 5-minute candle, and we pull back into this discount, I would consider taking a long to clear the Asian and London session high. It would be a very big stop loss, so I think I would take it on a micro contract. And we see and take it from there. So let's check out NQ. NQ kept on expanding, is about to clear already cleared the London session high. NQ did, but it's still a little bit away from that Asian session high. So let's see. They both might just completely go above that. I'm going to wait for this bullish fair value gap to be formed before I'm going to enter. We could also just have immediate rebalancing, but I'm fine with waiting, being patient. If I miss out, yeah, so be it. We already had 2 good trades today. So yeah. Let's find out. Because since we're moving so aggressively, we could also easily see a pullback into this old bullish fair value gap before we continue higher with a simple wick. We've been doing that all morning. So yeah, let's just find out. 2 more minutes to go. We just tapped the inversion fair value gap. So let's see how we use that. As soon as we tapped it, you saw it. We rejected immediately. Immediately. Once we ticked into the inversion, immediate rejection. So now we have an even smaller fair value gap left behind right here. And one right here. So let's wait for this 5-minute candle to close. Alright, so we're now inside that bullish fair value gap. Or at least we wicked inside of it. I don't like that we immediately close back below the New York midnight after clearing buy side. With a big rejection wick. Oh, come on. Don't let me be too late. Because we just tapped this bullish fair value gap, the inversion, everything overlapping here. But I don't know, I didn't function right. Was thinking of something else. That's not good. But well, in case I miss it, that's what it is. I'm not going to FOMO into it. It then is what it simply is. I can't do much about it, but that's fair. And looks like I'm going to miss out on it. That would have already been of my initial entry, the inversion. 5 handles would, oh, so easy. Anyway, let's see. $50 to go. Ideally, if you're already in long of the inversion, fair value gap, blah, 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 we would like to see a close above that New York midnight and this old bearish fair value gap, which kept holding support if we consider candle body closes. Right here, we didn't close below it. We kept holding after closing above it. So right now, ideally, I would like to see, yeah, another close above it. We closed above it, at least above the midnight, but immediately open with a bearish volume imbalance. Alright, so we
Order
tapped
filled.
in with 2 contracts, minis. Just testing something here. Feeling more confident doing this with minis. If we close below this bullish fair value gap, I would simply exit the position. Because then, yeah, we could pretty much see a reversal from here. After clearing buy side. And that's why I entered with the micro contract. If we keep on holding it and I see some more reason to believe that we're going to continue long, then I'm keen on adding to the position. Now we filled it in completely, so I want to ideally see a rejection. Push back up. And ideally close back inside the inversion fair value gap. So now we filled or delivered price super efficiently. Let's see. Power hour is about to start as well. It's 3:45 at 2:45. Close below this 5-minute bullish fair value gap would invalidate the entire idea for me personally. And target really, since I'm only doing this with 2 micros, would be the Asian session high right here. So I'm placing my sell limit here. And from here on, we're just gonna see how gonna rock. Two more minutes before this candle is going to close. YM also seems to be holding support on this bullish fair value gap. I'm not going to switch over to NQ because I want to keep that MES chart opened. One minute to go. Still the potential to close inside of it, so I'm not exiting early. Wicks do the damage, keep that in mind. 30 seconds to go. We're now inside of a new macro. 1450 until 1510. Where I would like us to hold support inside this bullish fair value gap to deliver into buy side. And as we can see, we kept closing inside of it. Here on the mini, we actually had a bearish volume imbalance.
Order filled.
Going to partially exit. I can always add back to the position. Tough price action, honestly. Very tough price action. But right now we're still respecting discounts. Yes, I took a small $10 loss, but I would be happy to add to the position once I see some more confirmation. And now it's also almost the beginning of a new hourly candle. And like right now we're getting that push that I wanted to see. So let's see. New hourly candle is going to open in 30 seconds. I'm watching this candle close. If we get a close below this bullish fair value gap, I'm going to exit my position.
Order filled.
I got out, and that's it. We even closed below the inversion fair value gap, so at this point in time, really not much interest in this market anymore. NQ seems to be running a lot more smoothly, but I'm not trading NQ. So let's quickly check our balance. We're up 29 bucks. We used to be up 60, I think. Yep, 60, so we lost 30 on that trade. We add that. Inversion fair value gap paired with a normal fair value gap. Tape reading. PM session. PM session. Add trade. So let's see what that power hour has to offer. I'm going to be streaming through that entire PM session. Screw it. That's the closest short-term low sell side liquidity we have available to us. Let's see if we have a 15-minute fair value gap somewhere. Not really, not really. Alright, let's see if we can clear sell side one more time. Which would then really be a market structure shift. Clearing the AM session high, market structure shift, bearish fair value gap or inversion fair value gap entry short. I could see that play out, especially since we also have equal lows below. Last trading hour. Interesting. For the week. Cleared buy side liquidity. Unfortunately, didn't clear the London session high, but I mean, we do not necessarily have to. We now have SMT divergence, but still, I don't like these big wicks. Let's see. Once more, we leave behind equal lows. Same way we did here to eventually deliver into buy side. We could be using this inversion fair value gap now for a potential short entry. But NQ is still holding up rather strong, so I'm not sold on shorts. I mean, look at all the support we kept on holding here to deliver into buy side. A short would look like this, in my opinion. And once again, if this candle would have cleared sell side, I would be way more confident to take a long. But since we once again just left behind equal lows, I'm not that sold on longs just yet. Now we tap this inversion fair value gap.
Order filled.
We can try it with one contract. Just to test how the market is going to move. Take profit would be right here. And Q keeps on holding this bullish fair value gap. 1 minute to go. If we close back above this bullish fair value gap and this inversion fair value gap, I might consider longs again. But still, it's, yeah, I don't know. You see it yourself. It's too much 50-50, and this could also just be it this week. It's 15:05 now. During that macro, all we did was, eventually deliver into sell side, but we didn't do that. So, yeah, still on the fence. 1 minute to go. Let's see. Can we hold the inversion? Are we going to reverse into buy side one more time? Inversion seems to be holding. We're not gonna make much profit on it because I only entered with 1 micro. Here's already going to be my take profit target at the sell side liquidity. Yes, I could have entered with a mini, but it's the end of the week. I'm not really that big on risking big dollars on a mini. So yeah, we used the inversion, delivered lower. So right now my stop loss would really go above this candle's high by 1. That's a 5.5 handle target towards the VWAP. And this short-term low, that would be a 8.75 handle target. And we continue to deliver lower. We can maybe add to the position once we close below this bullish fair value gap. If we do, so let's see if we can get the sell side delivered. Sell side has just been taken right here. But I'm going to see if we can continue lower and take out more sell side. And come back to the VWAP. Maybe that's all we're gonna do for the session. If we would have entered with a mini, of course, if hindsight, blah, 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 that would have already been a 7-handed move. Let's see if we can get a close below this bullish fair value gap for a potential inversion. Or if we just cleared equal lows to push back up. My stops in profit right here. To secure at least some. I don't care, but I would prefer trailing this trade into even more sell side. We still have equal lows below here, so this is my final target. And yeah, if we manage to close below here now, I would be confident in adding a position. But not a full contract, I'd say. That would be too much for my liking. Because therefore we're just too volatile. We close below it, so I'm certainly going to add a contract, a micro, right here on this candle.
Order
It
filled.
got filled. So now I'd like to see this inversion to hold resistance. My partial is going to be right here. I'm gonna buy one. And I'm going to close the entire position if we go above this level. But essentially, during that macro from 250 until 1510, we delivered into sell side, those equal lows. So let's see if we can't continue with that trend. So once again, I added one contract right here. All I'm doing is executing with micros because it's the end of the week. And yeah, I don't want to end the week with lots of drawdowns. So yeah, I'm going to keep it simple, stick to the micros. I'm in with 2 micros. That's good enough. Personally, I added one on the inversion. The first one I also entered based on the inversion. So let's just see if we can't continue to clear some more sell side. I'm going to take a partial right here and another partial at those 2 equal lows. After clearing buy side and disrespecting bullish fair value gaps, that's what we, in my opinion, might continue to do. Two minutes to go, or 1.5 minutes. If we close back above the inversion fair value gap, I'm going to exit the entire position. Ten seconds to go. bullish volume imbalance. Not ideal, but also not the worst.
Order filled.
So we have a new bearish fair value gap where I just added another contract. But it seems like we're going to get stopped out. Very tough price action.
Stop
I think
filled.
that's noticeable. I'm going to
Order
exit
filled.
that third contract as well. I don't like this bullish momentum here, paired with that volume imbalance. We could still hold it, of course, but nah, I just keep sitting on my hands. We're back to break even for the account, which is not the worst. And I don't think I'm going to risk anything more today. So thanks, guys. Thanks very much for tuning into this live stream. That's going to be the end of it. So take care and enjoy the rest of your afternoon or night. And I will see you again next week. Enjoy your weekend and take care.